Well, welcome on in, everybody. We're going to get started here pretty soon. I'm just making sure that everything is connected. Sometimes I do the dumbest things to get started. I'm just making sure everything's on par. All right, we're gonna get started here pretty soon. I don't have the game up just yet. I'm gonna get that on here. I'm using my Steam Deck, and we're gonna do a fresh playthrough, kind of like a lore playthrough for Baldur's Gate 2. I'm not doing it on max difficulty. I'm not doing a death march. We're gonna spend some time reviewing the lore, just enjoying the story, which is exactly how I did Baldur's Gate 1 a couple years back, but I did that exclusively on Twitch. And I thought, I've created so much content for Baldur's Gate, especially for Baldur's Gate 3, that wouldn't it make sense that anybody who has played Baldur's Gate, the 1 and 2, and maybe leery about going into 3, wants a little bit more context of how the story may even be connected. I know I did. I was like, why? We don't need a 3. Why do we need a Baldur's Gate 3? We finished the story. But conversely, if you've only played Baldur's Gate 3 and want a little bit more information about the lore from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, why not? I mean, I kind of said this is kind of like a win-win for everybody. And unfortunately, I tried doing this yesterday and I forgot that YouTube only allows one audio channel. And I have to separate my audio channels when I record, so that way I have more versatility. I can always add in audio channels when I record, but I can't strip away channels when they're kind of put together, you know? So by having them separate, I can mix and match however I need to. My voice track, music track, game track, sound effects if necessary, things like that. But what I can't do is that when everything's put together, extrapolate everything. So I'm very specific with my audio, and I simply forgot that I have to put, for streaming purposes, everything on one channel. That's how YouTube does it. And so I'm going to start over again, but it may be a blessing in disguise, because I did yesterday's playthrough, just the very, very beginning of Irenicus' dungeon. We did not get very far at all. We were talking a bunch of lore. And I realized that my run that I had with the Jaheira lore video is going to be very specific for that issue. And you're only going to see things related, and basically you're going to see things twice. And I don't want to see that. I thought, why don't I use a character that has played Baldur's Gate 1 before and could potentially romance Jaheira. I don't know if I'm going to, but I want those options. Maybe it'll open up a different dialogue tree that will be different from what's going to be in the lore presentation. So why not? Again, another win-win. Something you'll see only for stream purposes. I don't like that one. That one's Ares' theme. I think this is Viconia's theme. Yeah. This one's Viconia's theme. The one I played just before was Jaheira's love theme. And yes, there is a love theme for Jaheira. So if you're coming in from Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot of lore if you look in her story arc. If you go to the Baldur's Gate city, some of that is fleshed out. And I'm not going to spoil anything right now. We're just starting this playthrough. But if you are the type of player that has played Baldur's Gate 3 and has explored as much as you possibly can, or maybe you want to learn a little bit more about some other characters, and specifically Jaheira, there's a lot of references to these games, 1 and 2, especially 2. There's a lot more content in 2, of course, that you'll see connected in Baldur's Gate 3. So let me try to get in here and do this. I'm going to try to do the opening cinematic this time because I think I completely forgot. So let's get into it.
You spent your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, under the kind tutelage of your foster father Gorion. Imoen shared this home, a kindred spirit. Her background was as mysterious as your own. Gorion's murder brought answers to your questions when his killer Saravak was revealed to be your brother. You and Saravak were a product of the Time of Troubles, a chaotic period when gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth. One such deity foresaw his own death and walked the land before the cataclysm. He left a score of mortal offspring, intended to be the fuel for his rebirth. The god was Baal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. Saravak sought a war of sacrifice to prove his worth, believing he could become the new Lord of Murder. You killed your brother, sending his taint back to Baal. You were the hero of Baldur's Gate, but some suspected you shared the same lineage as Saravak. You departed soon after, under circumstances much darker than anyone would have believed. They came as you rested, figures cloaked in mist that clouded your thoughts, blurring the lines between consciousness and dreaming. There was no malice or hatred, no mention of an old score, only quick capture and the promise of grim deeds to come.
And there we go. We're going to start off Shadows of Amn, Baldur's Gate 2. Interesting that they called it Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate, the first game, you spend a lot of time in Baldur's Gate, don't get me wrong, but it isn't the focus. And it can be a while before you get there if you're doing a bunch of things around the frontier and stuff. Very similar to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is actually the way it's constructed in its acts is very similar to Baldur's Gate 1. But Baldur's Gate 2 is nowhere near Baldur's Gate. But you never go there. So it's interesting they called it really Baldur's Gate 2. it's just funny. But we're gonna get into it. We are gonna, like I said, I gotta find a character. But I didn't want to go in here and select a character and miss out on the cut screen. Now, I can go into the movies at any time because I have them all unlocked, of course. But we're going to do new game. And again, we're just going to do a standard playthrough. I want to focus on the lore. We're going to read all the books. We're going to just dive into it. Anybody that wants to bring up any lore, point out something I'm misinterpreting, or if you have questions about anything, I mean, bring it up. This is going to be a slow playthrough. Character file. Let me see here. Yeah, maybe this one. Legion, fighter, thief, neutral, evil. He's a fighter thief. This character can use the abilities of a fighter and a thief, though they cannot use their thieving skills while wearing more than studded leather armor. They may specialize in but not master any weapons they can use. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. And by the way, Banana, if you're listening, I think I checked it already. I'm going to double check real quick, but I think the game is coming through this time. Okay. I mean, I checked it myself. I think we're good. I couldn't believe I did that. Like I said, I do have to switch to multi-channels when I'm recording to one channel when I'm streaming for YouTube. But I think we're good this time. That was a total flop on my end. But like I said, perhaps blessing in disguise because it lets us play as a very different character that I would for my lore video for the Jaheira that I'm working on. So... appearance. And if you're wondering where I got this character creator portrait from, it's straight out of Diablo 4. They have a pretty excellent character creator, and I actually created a lot of portraits for some of my lore stuff in Baldur's Gate using it, and I thought, man, they kind of really just fit the mold, you know? And I created character portraits for them so that way when they do their dialogue, you can see who's talking there, and it gives them a personality basically. So that's where that comes from. Appearance. Where does that blue come from? What is this? I don't know. It's kind of weird because everything says brown on my end. Let me see here. Do that. All right. That's weird. I don't know. We'll work with it, okay?
No one is more worthy. I need rest if I am to fight.
Let's hear number 2.
Let's do this quick. I'll get the job done, whether leader or not.
Yeah. There's a hidden color for armor for various armor materials. Is there? Let me go back. Where? It only shows me 2. Major and minor. Is it the extended one? No. Still this. Kind of like that though. I think it's only accessible via third party. See, Banana? Yeah. I don't run very many mods, if ever. Skyrim and Bethesda stuff are probably the exception. They're kind of just made for it though.
To battle with no regrets.
Nah.
To battle and victory.
To battle and victory.
To battle and victory.
I don't know if I like any of these. Maybe Mel 2.
Let's do this quick and painful.
Yeah, maybe like that. I said it was hidden.
I'll get the job done,
yeah,
whether leader or
I'll get the job done, whether leader or not. Yeah, maybe. I might be able to pull that off. Let's do that. Come. See, the problem is, Legion has previously on Legion Tales, we romanced Viconia. So I don't want to get things confused. Perhaps we should call this one Banana. Banana the romanticizer of Jaheira. No. Let's I didn't think about this at all. No, Adriana is our female character for the Jaheira. What if we did Aiden? Is that how you spell Aiden? I don't know. What do you think? Neutral evil Banana. Yeah, Banana is, Banana is such a good character. I would classify him as chaotic good, but I think he would call himself lawful good. Or at least neutral good. But I think it's closer to chaotic good. Yeah, I think we'll go with Aiden. Or no. Let's do a very fantasy. Aiden. There we go. Ayden. Sure. Let's go. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to do normal. I should even just do easy. Party gains a +6 to luck. Enemies have their damage reduced by 50%. So that's a little bit too much. Party members cannot permanently die. Hit point rolls are maximized, and spell can be copied to spellbook without failure. I mean, normal's fine. Like I said, when I record for you guys, it's always in story mode. I have cheats on. I mean, it's a whole thing. And that's just simply because, there we go. I just need to record the content. And most of the time, you don't even see the UI of what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to get from one point to another. But for a playthrough, we'll just experience the fun of this. I normally, for myself, I would do no less than probably core rules, which is how I did it most of the time when I was playing it way back when the game came out. But I don't think I think that maybe they did call it core rules, because they had a normal, I think, core rules, and insane. I don't think they had all these options before, but I was pretty sure they always had core rules. But yeah, I usually pick chaotic good, but my real life is a bit more lawful. Yeah. Let's venture forth.
Ah, the child of Baal has awoken. It is time for more experiments. The pain will only be passing. You should survive the process. Interesting. You have much untapped power. Do you even realize your potential?
More intruders have entered the complex, Master.
They act sooner than we had anticipated. No matter, they will only prove a slight delay.
Wake up, you. Wake up! Come on, we have to get out of here.
Okay, so I stopped at this point yesterday for quite a while, and I'm not going to do the same thing. I am going to cover a lot of lore steps up to this point, but I just don't want to stop all the action like I was doing yesterday. But thank you, Banana, for checking on the YouTube side of things. Missed opportunity to make the max difficulty ballbuster. Yeah. When I first saw this, Baldur's Gate 2, when I first fired it up, I mean, I couldn't tell you how excited I was. Back then, you could order collector's editions and stuff, and it came the day it arrived at stores. So if you ordered a game, these were always physical copies, of course. If you ordered a game through wherever or from the developer itself, that's kind of how I did it. I got it through the developer itself. And when they shipped out, I believe, Tuesdays? No. They arrived on shelves at the stores on Tuesdays. Usually Tuesday was a game release. Monday was like a midnight party thing. And I got this one on Monday. In the fairly early morning. I mean, like before noon, I knew that. And it was this box. I didn't know what I was getting. It was just a collector's edition. I was like, man, sure. Back then, a collector's edition, Baldur's Gate 2, I think it cost me $40, which was like crazy numbers back then. And we look at it now and it's like, wow, collector's edition now, that's like, $100 or something for all the exclusive stuff. And like, yeah, but that's an increase from when this game came out, 99, 2000. But think about that. I mean, that's 26 years for it to inflate 100% or a little over that. And movies have gone up 3, 4, 5 times the rate. If you go buy a movie ticket now, I don't know. I do agree that games have gotten more expensive to purchase, but I also do realize that the facts are that gaming is probably the least inflated form of entertainment we have. So I don't complain too much about it. I wish they were cheaper, but it is what it is. But yeah, when this game came out, I was so excited. And when I fired it up, it didn't take me long to load it. I had what was it? I think I had a Gateway PC at the time. It was before I built my own rig. Right before I built my own rig, I had a Gateway PC, and it did not meet the specs for this game to run. But BioWare optimized things so well that you could run it on a far lesser rig. And it wasn't like mine was outdated, but it was just barely outside the recommended, and it ran flawlessly. But that's BioWare back then. They were so well beloved back then because their story, their game design. And when I say game design, I also mean not just in the game mechanics, but the coding. And a lot of the coding there was so, I don't want to say easy to work with. That's how you got people from like Poland, the CD Projekt, the devs who were making software, shareware for people. BioWare worked with them when they were like selling stuff out of their van. They have a very strong tie to the BioWare guys back then. And they said, hey, can you release this in Poland as can you release it in, y'all's language and stuff? And they did. So that's why they feel actually there's a lot of references to BioWare from these older titles. CD Projekt Red, they use the Aurora engine, which is The Witcher, the original Witcher. That was from Neverwinter Nights. It was heavily modded, of course. But the original Witcher is janky as hell, but it really, because what they made it do wasn't designed to do what it did. Because if you played Neverwinter Nights, I mean, it has such potential. If you could have a party system in there, it'd be so good. I'd play it now if I could, but it's really just you and one other party member, and that's it. It sucks. But overall, the story isn't great. It wasn't really designed for the story, but it's okay. It's serviceable. But this particular scene, this opening scene for Baldur's Gate 2 always gives me chills. It always reminds me of like when I first got to play this game. It was just so good. But yeah, David Warner is the voice of Irenicus there that you heard, and he deserves a mention because his role in this game is just phenomenal. He nailed the part of Irenicus, a big bad who you can, if you choose to, see his side of things. But anyway, let's get to it. Come on, we gotta get out of here. What? Imoen? What's going on? The game any good? Bogu is here, y'all. The master of the tactical Baldur's Gate runs. I can't say enough about Bogu. definitely one of my favorite streamers for seeing how this game is supposed to be played. I don't think you'd like it. Bogu, you got to check him out. He's got a Twitch channel. He's got a very loyal following. He does things on max difficulty, like everything is got 3 times the HP that they should have, and he just mows through things. I mean, he is just a master at it. I'm always in awe when I watch that stuff. And he's doing that, juggling chat and talking about this, talking about that, and it blows me away, because I would be in that same situation, be like, I don't know how to do this this particular scene. It's just going to frustrate me. But he just runs through it. And back to checkers then. But yeah, Bogu, you got to give him a follow if you're on Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitch. And I like to lurk in there while he's doing those things. And he does a lot of other stuff like RTS's tactical. So he's been doing Darkest Dungeon, and I know Banana loves Darkest Dungeon. Banana's 100% at Darkest Dungeon. I've played these games. I play them for the fun and for the ambiance and for the lore. Those guys are the masters. He got with your head. He messed up your head too, huh? All I know is that we're near Baldur's Gate and got jumped. So your journal's been updated. I've woken up in a strange mage's dungeon, and Emowyn has released me from my cell. We must find a way to escape this place, although I suspect the exits might be barred by magic. We might be able to find a way to leave if we explore the area, although we'll need to be careful. Who knows what traps this mage has laid or what guards he employs. I should keep an eye out for the weapons and armor to equip myself with too. Likely some of my items are hidden somewhere in this complex if he hasn't destroyed or sold them already. And Emowyn goes on to say, I don't think I want to remember it all. He's been doing things to us. Aiden, we have to get out of here. Doing things? What do you mean? Come on, Aiden, don't make me think of it. He did the same to you, I think. I heard you screaming like it anyway. A little headache is not going to stop me. It isn't like a normal pain, Aiden. It's on the inside, like my bones made a little dagger. And it won't go away. Don't look at me like that. It hurts, all right? Must have been the noise. There was a fight. Assassins came after our captor, I think. There's people dead all over, and the fighting is still going on. I could hear it. Are you going to get moving, or do I leave without you? Fine. Well, no. Right you are. Let's go. Good. I didn't want to go by myself. I need you around, Aiden. I don't want to be here alone. We should look in that room to the west first, west and just a bit north. I think I saw some weapons in there. It's a room off to the corner of this one. I don't think it's our gear. It's probably they probably sold our best stuff. But anything is better than nothing. Now let's go. So I have been asked very compelling argument to make a lore video next for Emowyn. Literally stuck in the same part of the game for a year, but thanks. I lost my best Darkest Dungeons Blood Moon run today. Yeah, I'm trying to get another one going.
I really want out of here.
And that's the thing, Bogu. It's not a roguelike game, but if you kind of treat it as such, it can kind of feel that way. And I'm not a huge fan of roguelites. There are a couple that kind of are compelling, and I do get the appeal. However, Darkest Dungeons is just one of those. It's like, I just like making a new run. I like seeing how far I can get before, just total destruction happens to me. Talk about a great narrator, man. The guy who narrates Darkest Dungeon, they asked him, I think, to just do the trailer. And he was so good at it, and it got such a welcome response. And I don't know if it was the trailer, if they got him to do like, I don't know, like some kind of like, I don't know, maybe to sell it to publishers or something. but he was so good at it that they said, we got to get him in the entire game. So he wasn't originally designed to be part of the game, but that goes to show how, one person, one voice, or I don't know, point of view can really carry a design for a game, So he was just phenomenal. I think he passed about 3 years ago. Yeah. On the sound side of things, Darkest Dungeon absolutely nailed it. Yeah.
I hope this is worth it.
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon is the original. I do like the second one. It's just that I'm not good at navigating the cart, and it's one but I do like the characters better overall than the first one. But it is a totally different design choice, and I totally get it. It's like, when you're a game designer and you're sitting there like, we can't just make the same thing. We're like, just make the same thing. Just make the same thing. Make a new story or whatever. We're good with that. But they did do some changes in the design, and that's their choice. But yeah, sound effects, music, and narrative are all fantastic and make it a great game. Oh, I know. Like I said, it's one that I would definitely do more for. Can you imagine though if I don't think I could. I don't think I could do a lore video on Darkest Dungeon, because that means I would have to get far in Darkest Dungeon. I don't get very far. Maybe I can get Banana to do it. Banana, work on that. Why don't you make a lore video for the channel, for the podcast channel for Darkest Dungeon? Please and thank you.
Give me some direction. Yeah, I'll see to it.
I've got a fighter thief here, and it's really more of my my alley here. Again, what I'm going to be doing with this particular playthrough is slowly going over some of the lore, the stories, how we got to this point, discovering some characters, and what are their relevance in the bigger picture. Baldur's Gate 2 definitely narrows the scope of the story. It's a much bigger story, of course, but each character, rather than giving you 20 different companions that you could have, they kind of limit them, and they just create a bigger story for each one. And we're going to create a character that might romance Jaheira, because I really want to focus on what Jaheira does in this playthrough. I'm still working on my lore for part 2 of Jaheira, but that one will not be romancing. It's a female character, so you can't romance Jaheira as a female character. I just want to see her side of the story of things. But this one we'll get to explore, so it's stream exclusive of what you'll be able to interact with her, because it is a little different. But yeah, I prefer the gameplay of Darkest Dungeon 1, but there's a lot more character development in Darkest Dungeon 2. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I think that nails it. I feel the same way. But yeah, at any time somebody has any lore, comments, questions, hit us with it. Because between Bogu, Banana, and a little bit from myself, yeah, we got you covered.
I'm waiting. It's done.
But yeah, somebody made a compelling argument for me to do a lore playthrough for Imoen. Not a playthrough necessarily, but just her lore. And I don't think that's a bad idea. Different person wanted me to do, a lot of people actually wanted me to do Minsk. And I'm like, no, that's a horrible idea. Not because I don't like Minsk. A lot of us don't. I do. But the problem with Minsk is that there's really not a lot of content there. He's well beloved. A lot of people, know of him, and clearly he was important enough by Larian's eyes, and I don't think it was the wrong decision to bring him back for Baldur's Gate 3. However, like I said, most of his content, 95% of his content, is in Baldur's Gate 3. There's not much in 1 and 2. And that, and so that's just facts. So if I did a lore video for him, it would be super short. And so there's not much there. And I think people would get kind of disappointed with that. I would have to make up a lot of things, He's a mascot of the franchise. Yes, Bogu, I got, in comments, I once made a what did I say specifically? I said something in relationship to Minsk, but it was about, like, I love him as a character, but I don't love him in game, or something like that. He's not really functional. He's not useful. And there, I got tore to pieces. How dare you? He's the flagship of Dungeons and Dragons, this and that. I was like, oh my God. They really let me have it. I'm like, I didn't say I didn't like him. I just don't think he's useful in Baldur's Gate 1 or 2. And 3, that's a different story. Prisoners, you must not escape. The master does not will it. Wow, a golem. Powerful magic stuff. Odd that it's not hostile. I suppose its marker didn't expect us to escape, so it never gets orders for restraining us. They only do exactly what they're directed to. They don't really think. If it hasn't been told to keep quiet, we might get some information out of it. Prisoners, you must not escape. The master will does not will it. Yeah, like I said, I think Emma actually kind of deserves a lore video, because if you kind of know the whole full story, there's enough connective tissue between that, and it almost is a crime. I got to use my words very carefully, not because I'm afraid of it. I just don't want to spoil anything. But Baldur's Gate 3 it's an avenue that Baldur's Gate 3 could have explored at some point, and I think they missed out. There's a lot of things Larian, I think, kind of missed out when it comes to referencing the old characters, because I think that would have given enough intrigue and interest to the older games for people to just, fire it up, find out. Maybe they would like it. Who is this master you speak of? I am not permitted to speak with prisoners. Return to your cells. For some reason, Geralt's a golem. It is the master's wish. Where are we, and why have we been brought here? You are his prisoners. He has brought you to his home because he owns you now. You must return to your cell. It's the master's will. Don't make me get roach. When's Helen? The master wants me to be free. He's the one who released me. Only I release the master's prisoners. You are his and must return to the cells. It is his wish. All right. You're a mindless golem. I shall find no answers from you. You must not disobey the master. Return to your cells. All right.
Yeah? Hey, not a concern.
All right. So here we go. Almost over encumbered, but not quite. Need to make sure that I'm the one who talks to Jaheira.
I hope this is worth it.
Yeah, should work. Nope.
Name it. Right you are.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'll see to it.
Quickly, we must get out of here before whoever did this returns.
Where's Rachel?
Traveling with you is never dull.
There's a friend of channel between me and Com and Banana. Her name's Mona About It on Twitch. She's an actual actress. She was in Game of Thrones. She streams, and her name's Rachel. And I said, you need to get a sound alert from Batman that says, "Where's Rachel?" Like when she goes on break or something. I think that would be kind of cool. Or like when she's like starting the stream, like when we're waiting, "Where's Rachel?" She said that's a great idea. So hopefully maybe we'll see that on her channel. Quickly, we must get out of here, but before whoever did this returns. I swear traveling with you is never dull. I think she said that. Sorry. Now, I need to, at some point, after I get done talking to Jaheira, go back to our biography and read that. But Jaheira is an interesting biography. Go to my lore video and you can find out a little bit more about her deeper past, because I do cover that in pretty good depth. But it says, do you know why we are here? Any clue would be helpful. I think this is the best answer for her, simply because she is a harper, and she has a lot of worldly wisdom. And so just asking her, like, do you have any idea where there's a good chance she might know. I'm sure we could navel gaze all day about what brought us here, but shall certainly prove pointless if we do not remove ourselves from immediate danger. I know not who has entrapped us here either, but I would rather not find out simply waiting for them to return. We are at a disadvantage in this place. I will recount what led to this if you wish, though I think I have little to offer that you do not know already. And I'm not going to be covering Siege of Dragonspear. I'm just not. If somebody really has a lot of questions about that, feel free to bring them up, but I'm not going to be covering Siege of Dragonspear, nor any of the lore-related content to that, because I don't think it was written well enough to say these characters have these arcs connected. They do connect some information, but it's just to say that they're there. So they really focused on what the story was and not how the characters really had an impact on that story, which is really what Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 do exceptionally well. My husband Khalid and I have traveled with you for some seasons now, and the places we have seen number too many to name. Oh, and I mentioned this yesterday, but if somebody's really interested in being a voice actress for Jaheira, let me know. Her voice is so difficult to kind of nail down. I mean, I could just, get my wife to do it again, I guess. But she does require a little nuanced voice style, because she's not exactly Middle Eastern. She's not exactly... it's almost like there's a little bit of French in there, too. You're interested, Bogut? Not a problem. I will definitely get you on the horn. But she definitely has a certain dialect that you just can't nail down. And so that's not exactly, like, it doesn't have to be exactly on point, but I just need something that is, like, for me, I'm in the South, right? And if I just get a friend that does that, I'm guarantee it's going to come out very Texan. It's just because that's not what they do. They're just friends of mine. But yeah, if anybody is that, hey, look, I'd like to, try out my voice on something like that, let me know. I've put fellow streamers and friends in past videos, so just be interesting to collaborate on that, because really it would just be reading text like this. I'm not going to make you do more than what's in front of these texts. I do all the narration, I do all the script, I lay all the background stuff. None of that stuff would be required. Your unique heritage has proven a magnet to adventure, for better or worse, and your foster father was right in directing us to watch over you. We remain in your company as friends more than guardians, and our exploits together have left the land for the better. We have earned many enemies, but we have dispatched them all. Whoever has trapped us now is certainly powerful to have done this so easily. Once we know, we will deal with them in due course, but for the time being, it is more important we retrieve our friends and companions and leave this place. And unfortunately, the way she's written sometimes is not how she probably would say those things. But that's okay. Where is Khalid now? He is not with you. I do not know where he is, and it worries me. No doubt he was taken as we were, though it seems we were all meant for different fates. From the state of my head, I think I have been drugged, though I have been spared many serious mistreatment. You, however, look as though you have been treated most unfavorably, and I should not like to think of Khalid receiving the same. Well, then I will unlock your cage quickly. I think I found the key. You've got the key that fits? Then open my door already. Must I hand walk you through this? That's a very Jaheira thing.
Nature's servant awaits.
Well, that is a relief, and about time too. We should be going immediately. Not only might our host come back, I simply must see the sun again in none too short a time. This dank place stifles me. We have to remember she is elf and she is druid, so she's not one for these dungeon places. It's not her thing. Let's see. We will leave here immediately and celebrate once we are out of this hole. As you would have it, though there are other friends we must find as well. It is good to share your company again. Alright, alright, alright.
What is it?
So I'm going to put everybody over here for just a second. And unfortunately, this is the problem with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, is this pathing. This is everybody's biggest complaint. They just kind of like, they don't go through each other. They kind of sprite on top of each other. It's just, it is what it is, though. Let's go ahead and give her the chainmail. And I think Emowyn has the katana. We should be able to get a scimitar in the next room pretty soon for Jaheira. And that's kind of like her little brand, is having the dual wield scimitar. But you know, it's not effective, but you know, it is what it is. Again, we're not here to try to min-max our character. We're simply trying to, I'll just carry this. I don't think Emowyn can wear leather at the moment. I think it'll ruin her ability to cast. Yeah, it does. So we're gonna put this back on our character. We'll save that, I guess, for Yoshimo. I think it comes with leather armor, though. I don't know. But anyway, let's look at our character real quick. And if we go into our biography, here's a little list here. And I'm going to just put on some music while I'm reading this, because it's...
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
I'm actually quite shy.
Okay, let's where do we want? Copper Cavern. Yeah. Let's do that. I'll read that while that's playing. Your history is nearly as unknown as your future, and the things that are certain seem more fancy than fact. As unlikely as it may seem, you have the blood of a deity coursing through your veins. You are the product of the time of troubles, a cataclysmic period when the gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth among their followers. One such deity foresaw both the event and his inevitable death because of it, and so took steps to effect his resurrection. This god strode the land before he was made to, and in his wake left a score of mortal progeny driven to conquer and rule. They were not intended to be his successors, but rather the fuel for his rebirth. Heroes would rise to counter these tyrants, and when their evil fell, it would fall to the Father. The god was Baal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. You were cared for as a child by Gorion, the powerful wizard that may have had even more powerful friends, specifically probably like they're referring to Elminster. It was his influence that allowed you to spend your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, where the resident monks schooled you in your skills. Children were an oddity at the keep, though you did have a friend in Emowyn. She seemed a kindred spirit, though you knew no more of her background than your own. Gorion never explained how you or she came to be there, or why you needed such a secluded home. It was only after his death that you learned the truth about your bloodline, when you were forced into conflict with his killer, another child of Baal. Sarevok was the sibling's name, and he had embraced his foul origins, determined to exploit them and become the next Lord of Murder. He sought to create death on a massive scale. Let's do walkings. A war of sacrifice that would prove his claim to his father's throne. You unraveled his carefully wrought plans, and ultimately it was you that took his life, sending his taint back to Baal. A victory of sorts. Now you face an uncertain future, a child of murder. You have a lineage that will tempt the ignorant to fear you and the unscrupulous to use you. And always the essence of Baal is within, exerting its dark pull when you are the weakest. Which is the greater fear? Losing your life to fuel the fire, or losing your will and becoming it? There you go. Now, Emoen, not as long, but like I said, there is something to be said about Emoen and her role in these two games. She's easily disposable, but if you look at her stats are actually really good. Dexterity 18, Constitution 16, Intelligence 17, Charisma 16. I mean, the problem is that she's a thief mage, and it's like, just let me focus, mage or thief, but it is what it is, Imoen chuckles when you ask her about her past, assuming you are trying to keep her mind on happier times and places. Let me put it on. No. Trade. She indulges you and certainly does cheer up when speaking of how you spent your youth together in Candlekeep. She arrives there the same as you, in the company of your foster father Gorion, but despite the similarity, she grew up much more carefree than you did. Indeed, her lighthearted outlook has long kept her immune to the hardships of the world, though the dark confines and horrors of your current location have definitely taken their toll. Her main problem is being gone for half of the game. You're not wrong, Bogu. That is an issue. And when I first played the game a while back, when you went to Spellhold, if I brought somebody with me and she joined, then they were left there forever. So I always got into the habit of either bringing one particular character or coming with one character less. And I think that's where I started playing, why I started playing Thief so much, because it mitigated that issue. And for a while there, I didn't know Yoshimo's arc because of that, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's see here. Jaheira. We'll put on her romance music. When asked about her past, Jaheira glares as she speaks. She says that she was born in the Tether region to a loyalist of the King Alamander regime, unfortunately during the Tetherian Civil War. Her family was among the nobles targeted by the angry mobs of peasants, and she was only spared because a servant girl took her from her castle before it fell. An enclave of druids in the forest of Tether was willing to grant shelter, and Jaheira grew up headstrong in their care. She believes the only way to protect nature is to have an active role in the world, but the cost of this dedication seems to weigh heavily on her mind these days. She grows quiet when you ask about recent events, and while she gives the appearance of her normal strong-willed self, there is a look of doubt in her eyes. It would seem that she has seen too many friends fall to remain unaffected. She does not like the subject and lets it drop. So when we talk about the time of troubles, I talk about this a lot actually. The time of troubles is when Ao, the overlord god of gods, basically decided to turn all the gods mortal. And some of them made it back to their station. Some of them literally got kind of lost or trapped. I talk about Joaquin. I have a Joaquin lore video. It's a very similar type thing. And some died, Ball is one of them. In Baldur's Gate 3, we go over Jurgle. And I think there's a statue me and Banana always talk about. The little area where you find withers, there's a big statue to Jurgle. There's a book there. The book is referencing names and who's being crossed off the list. And you have to wonder, if this is Jurgle related, if it is, why do we care who's still out and about there? It's notable just the fact that there is still a counting, a who's who, basically. You got to remember, Jurgle gave up his position. Why does he care now? He was tired of it. He was like, you guys can have it. He gave it to the Dead 3. But he's still keeping up. And now we have Withers in Baldur's Gate 3, who is helpful, obviously. And he asks some really good questions when we first meet him. And if you want to check out the video, the co-op, we didn't go very far, but me and Banana played for just a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. And I answered it, I thought, as I had the option. I think the best way to kind of connect some of those dots.
Tie her down on a bed and spank her. You must spank her well, and after you have spanked her, you may deal with her as you like, and then spank me. And spank me? And me? And me? Yes, you must give us all a good spanking.
Daryl 6, let's see here. 1 second here, let me shout you out. Daryl 6, there you go. Welcome on in. And Raiders, good to see you guys. And let me see, what were you playing? Oh, okay, Holy Grail, good start. Yeah, that's our raid for coming in. Appreciate you coming by. You bring Baldur's Gate as well. That's great. We're just doing kind of a lore playthrough. I have a channel, and I've been creating a lot of lore content for Baldur's Gate for a while. And one thing I've been doing is the Jaheira one, and I'm kind of stuck. So I needed a playthrough to kind of remind me, like, yeah, do I do left? Do I go right? So I kind of did two birds with one stone. So it lets me kind of do the story again and remind myself of how to approach that story, because the Baldur's Gate 2 has a lot of meat on its bones when it comes to lore. But yeah, it had nothing to do with the raid. Okay, Bogu. Oh, do you know Daryl? Oh, that's great. Bogu is here, and Bogu is I try to prop up Bogu as much as I can. He's a good guy. Very good guy. But yeah, we're doing a lore playthrough. So this is definitely, if you're looking for a tactical run, no hit, no death, enemies have 8 times more health than they should and hit you 6 times harder than they should, this is not the channel. That's Bogu. But yeah, I've basically come from a very lore approach, and I just kind of cover the stories. We read all the books. We any questions that come up, because I don't have all the answers, but we can always look it up. Yeah, that's the BG stuff I do. That's wonderful. Yeah. Oh, that's for the tacticals. Yeah. Even worse stuff. Oh my goodness. But BG has a great story. I know, and that's why I cover it. And I don't mean SOD. Yeah, I don't cover shit. I don't cover the game in between, the game that shall not be named. I have nothing directly against it, but it's not my thing. I don't like. It's kind of like Andromeda. Mass Effect I'm still a Mass Effect lore nut, and I know Andromeda. I know it fairly well. There's a lot of things about Andromeda I do like. I don't hate the game, but I think they dropped the ball on a lot of things. And I think the Siege of Dragonspear is the same thing. I think they're so close. It's right there in front of you, and they still couldn't do it. Why do you hate Glint? Yeah. Let's not do shit. I tried to understand it and failed. Yeah. Took me 4 of ranting about the plot. See, and the thing is, the great thing about Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and 3 is that each companion that you have has their own story. They have their own adventure. You're kind of almost like part of their story. So it's not like you are the main character, but of your own story. They're the main character of their own story. Siege of Dragonsphere kind of almost says, let's just make it about the story, and you kind of fit in where you do, and I think that's part of it. It just feels off. So even if it does a good job of what it does, it just feels off, because the other stories just do a phenomenal job of giving you an immersion based on acting as a party, as a group, But yeah, welcome on in. I started doing this yesterday, and I said, yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. So back doing it again, and hopefully you guys can sit in, dig in. And, appreciate you being here. But yeah, I've been streaming for a little while, about 4.5 maybe years, 5 years. But I don't do it regularly enough to have a schedule. So if you're looking for something regular, this is not it. I play all kinds of RPGs. I'm a little bit older, so I've been playing games for a very, very, very long time, since really PCs were kind of a thing. You know, we had floppy disks and shareware and a bunch of other stuff like that. And, you know, consoles, my first, I guess, console was Atari, you know, and after that it was a Nintendo. And yeah, you know, it's like, that's the kind of stuff I grew up on. So the newer stuff, I'm not familiar with the, those in between, like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, even the Sega Genesis, I didn't ever get on that, so I don't know that very well. But PC gaming was always my thing. So when this game came out, my oldest son, was born shortly after Baldur's Gate 1 came out. And so I took, you know, FMLA, family leave, and to watch a newborn. And what I spent all my time doing, I was playing Baldur's Gate. It was a brand new game, just came out. I was like, oh, I got some time now, and I just got sucked in. And then when this game came out, oh my goodness, it just blew me away. As much as I loved Baldur's Gate 1, this one came out, and it was just like, wow. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get into it again.
Give me some direction. I've work to do. This sitting around is useless. It's done.
So I don't expect the entire game to take as long as I'm doing this one, but
these bonds will not hold my wrath, but will be liberally kicked in good measure.
I'll try not to pause the action too much, but like I said, you know, we just kind of go over story content. Minsk will be free. These bonds will not hold my wrath, but will be liberally kicked in good measure. Oh, Minsk, your mighty warrior spirit must find these bars unbearable. Time is short for talk that is small. Release me. I will rain beatings down upon all those who have dared touch me, and Dinah here, she will be avenged. Dinah here? Calm yourself. We must keep our heads if we are to escape. It says BG1 coming out ruined all my other plans around that time too. Yeah, luckily I was only 8, but it took over for several summers. Yeah. Oh, we reached our goal of 420. Our follower goal of 420. Well, I mean, I was, in 99 and in 2000, so I was 25 in 2000, but the game came out, I was 24, so I turned 25 mid-January, so yeah, blaze it. Now, this is also a really great story. If I'm not going to do a lore video on Minsk, I say that, but you never know, but Minsk is only around mainly because of Dynahair, and then he kind of lingers around because he was well beloved by the fans. But Dynahair was a Wicklaren, and Wicklarens, they kind of had this premonition or this feeling that something was off in the West. And so that's where in Rashomon, they sent her, and then, you know, he was supposed to be her bodyguard, and that didn't work out. But she was a lesser Wicklaren, so they sent her. And she had no idea of knowing she would actually run into the reason for the Sword Coast having that change in what they perceived to be, you know, potentially world altering. But that's just how fate willed it. So her and the other Wicklarens sensing that kind of run into you. And that's why it's really important that for me, at least, when I did the first Jaheira lore video, that I included Dynahair in it. It wasn't just because. I really do think that she has a significant story connection to everything. Not so much Minsk, but Dynahair for sure. I will not be the only one to lose my head here today. Dynahair, my charge and friend, she is dead, and I am a failure as her guard. I will enact penance from each and every wicked soul that dare lay a finger on. They killed her as I watched, you see. I know not who they were, but I will redeem myself. Oh man, that's horrible. I'm so sorry for you. I won't cry for the dead. I won't. Okay, maybe a little, but I will staunch the flow of tears with righteous fury. Lullaby and good night, evil. Minsk will make you pay. Will you help me? We must join together once more, and our fury will be such that bards will run their quills dry. Yes, ink will be scarce wherever we go. I will try to free you, but I don't know how to open your cell. I do not know either. The bars have no lock at all. They are smithed together. Smythe. I am proud that they feared me enough to imprison me permanently. Permanently? That's going to make this difficult. But you will keep looking, of course. You will never give up. I know this. A hero always succeeds, and a hero never stops short of his goal. But he also needs a key or a switch. I don't know where they are. You have brushed me aside with your words. You won't help. Boo can see it now. You do not intend to cut my chains. You only intend to yank them. I will make sure you do not live long enough to abandon more friends. I will do all of this as soon as I get these bars open.
The bars, they bend and twist with my berserker strength. Minsk and Boo are free. No, you will not. No. Ooh. Oh, you are a smart one. I understand now. You said what you did just to get me mad. Mad enough to break free. Haha. You are as smart as Boo sometimes.
Now we can resume our adventures together. There are friends to avenge and villains to smack about the face and neck, right, Boo? Well, together we shall make our enemies answer for our fallen. Answer they will, and my sword shall be the question. We shall have fistful of sweet, sweet justice, and our enemies will be stains upon our feet. What? Yes, but, all right. Boo tells me that I am raving again. I did not notice a difference, but I shall heed his words nonetheless. Come, we must go now. Yes, Minsk and Boo and you together again. Beware, villains. I will force justice down upon your evil, evil throats. Yeah. Are you talking to a hamster? No. Ah, I see you still have that rodent. Dare I ask how you have kept it hidden from your captors? Don't ask questions better left to aged sages. Boo is quick and evasive, and there is ever so much mince to search. There is no hope of getting us apart. Oh, I really don't want to think about that too much. Minsk and Boo are Minsk and Boo, and we shall not be separated. Shall we go? The butts of evil await my boot print. Right you are, Minsk. Where evil does lay its dirty feet, we shall mop the floor with its buttocks. So, a watch story from Pulp Fiction, got it. Yeah, basically. I have lost myself in your words, but Boo thinks you're just ducky. Onward. So, Minsk is definitely not one that I would say that we have to have in our party for this playthrough. I mean, you know, unfortunately he's a ranger. If he was anything like a warrior or something, I'd say, well, there you go. He's valuable now. But as a ranger, it's no good. It's no good at all.
You point, I punch.
Go and level him up. Because you can't get more than just being proficient with your weapon with him. And he's got all the strength, and he's probably just better off either with a strong two-handed bow or, you know, a sword and shield, because even though he's already maxed with his two-handed sword, really, are you going to be using him like that? I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, he's probably not going to be someone that we keep with us, but I mean, it is what it is. I just do 2 there. It's fine. But at least he's got a spell or two here. We'll do Armor Feth Bless. That's fine. What do we got here? Slow Poison. Slow Poison. Oh, we got a third one. Cure Disease is fine. All right, let's get Emowyn leveled up. Since she's not really, well, I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's do that. And let's get her spells done already. These are okay. I should have kept that. We'll do that. And I would say web, but not in this dungeon, so we'll just do that. Ooh. Fireball. Cast fireball. Fireball. So we got a level 4. Sure. Improved invisibility. Wow, I have a lot more here than I thought I did. Breach. It's fine. Okay, we don't have any of these spells anyway. So let's see about Jaheira. Where are we at with her? Let's do that. Get rid of these. It's fine. Get rid of that. Do slow poison, bark skin, and slow poison is fine. Get rid of that. Summon insects. There we go. All right. Let's call Willen Beans. And let's give her an offensive thing for once. And then Insect Plague for now. And I don't need Trucine yet. So and I forget, let's see. When Druid casts this powerful spell, this is Iron Skins. Upon himself, an outer skin of iron will move up with the ground, completely covering him. The skin is, of course, magical and will hinder the druid in no way. The effect of this is to protect the druid from physical attacks such as melee and projectiles. For every 2 levels, the caster, an additional skin is gained. Let's see. It is important to note that this will not protect the druid from any area attacks such as fireball. However, it will protect them from physical magical attacks such as magic missile. So I'm thinking either Trucine or Harper's Call, but I don't need Trucine just yet. I don't need Harper's Call just yet either. We're just playing on them regular difficulty. So let's do 2 insect plagues. Oh wow, I get 2 more in level 6 here. Let's see. Let's do Conjure Animal, sure. And then heal. Okay, we're good now. We're maxed.
I'm waiting.
Man, we should be flying through this place now.
There.
So we don't want that. What else we got? What other formations do we have? Oh yeah, it's this thing.
Yeah.
All right, let me, I haven't done a save yet, so let's go ahead and save, and we'll call this Aiden 1. All right.
Never, if it must be done.
All right, we're ready.
Direction.
Let's go. Oh, That's a low blow. Come on, hit him. Oh, I haven't given him any weapons. That is so Bush League of me. All right. Let's give this to me. I can't believe I did that. I gathered all these weapons and didn't put any of them on. Okay, there we go. Suddenly he's dead. Says the machine buzzes with electrical energy. Yeah, I think yesterday when I went here, like I didn't hit this the second time. I was like, why does it keep respawning a method? And I just never hit it the second time. I read the description, and that was it. And this time I didn't put on any weapons. So one of these days I'm going to do this area proficiently. But today is not that day.
Hey, not a concern.
Athkatla. Aiden, welcome. You have escaped somewhat later than I had hoped. I am Athkatla. You have my welcome to this little piece of this place. I do so try to keep it more appealing than the rest. My thanks, but how is it that you know my name? What is going on here? Your name is well known amongst those who watch. The life's thread is bright indeed, though in your life path lies many dark and frayed end. As to easing your mind in answering such questions as those that surely plague you, it is not my place to do so. I am sorry. Of what use can you be to me? Such assistance as you will get from me depends on yourself. Are you prepared to answer a question? I'll answer your question if it leads to you making some sense. There's my hypothetical question. Here's my hypothetical question. You and your sibling are captured and locked in separate cells, unable to communicate. The mage responsible appears and speaks. He explains his sadistic game. In each cell there is a magical button. If you press your button and your sibling does not, you will die. But your sibling is free. If your sibling presses the button and you do not, they will die, but you will go free. If neither you nor your sibling press the button, you will both die. If both of you press the respective buttons, both of you will die. The mage says that you have one turn of the hourglass to decide your action. Then he leaves. The only thing that the genie doesn't really say is whether or not you can communicate with your sibling or not, you know? This is silly. Buttons are not how one escapes dungeons. I would smash the button and rain beatings liberally upon the wizard for playing such a trick. Verily of that I have no doubt, Minsk. But the question is hypothetical and requires an answer born of the wisdom of Aiden, not your impatience. Tell me, Aiden, do you press the button? So, I really just think it depends on the particular playthrough and what you kind of know of your story and and if you've played it before, really. But I could make an argument that if you are the Bhaalspawn that needs to, go through with the story arc, it's actually important that you stay around. So by not pressing the button, you risk that your sibling also never presses the button and you both die anyway. But if you're in communication with them and say, look, I have to stay alive, it kind of sounds selfish, but at the same time, it's kind of compelling. But I think the majority, when they kind of see this, like, yeah, I guess I'll sacrifice myself for my sibling. But we're not going to say that. We're going to say, I do not press the button. Truly, I had not thought you to be a coward until this day. Mingle with your brethren, coward. I shall test your mettle.
Give me some direction.
Gibberlings! Not the Gibberlings, no! Oh, and I need to turn off the AI, because I hate it. Customize script, none. Yeah, I hate the AI in this game. Let's see how. But this, oh yeah. Let me give her the, there we go. There we go. Customize script, no AI. I mean, some of them are okay, but I don't want them casting things. And I don't want to go into each little thing. At some point, I may go in there and fine tune it, but for right now, no, I'm not going to do all that. None. Although his spells are okay, I guess it would be okay if he did something. He's not going to cast anything that's going to be too bad. So
I'm waiting.
Nature,
Go for the eyes,
take the
Boo.
life
Go
she
for
gave.
the eyes, yeah!
Let's do this quick and painful.
I await your move.
these things are just running around everywhere. All right, MOM.
Time to move.
They won't stay still.
Give me some direction.
My
Feel
blade.
the backhand of justice! Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes, yeah!
You have come through after all, Aiden. Here then is the advice that I offer. Seek out Rylev. He has been waiting for one such as you. Offer him the release that he craves, and you shall find the focus of your journey shall soon become apparent. Farewell.
I'm waiting.
So as many people know,
Say to it.
the Irenicus dungeon sucks. I mean, it is what it is, right? But it's not anybody's favorite. Point of dilemma is no communication. Yeah. The pool churns and swirls. Strange lights dance within. For a brief, tantalizing moment, the pool clears. You watch in wonder as a world is born. In fire and molten rock, lands rise and fall. Gaseous liquids snake and pour, and time passes. Eventually, seas are formed and a spark of life appears. The first organism is created, and plant life begins its slow, inevitable blanking of this new world. Let's see here. This room is dominated by mineral deposits and crystals. It seems to be a natural cavern that this strange prison has been built around. The air holds an aura of power, and several pools with swirling lights grace the edge of the rough cavern. Now the thing is, for me, and I don't know all the details here, but when we get to Rylev, there is a crystal key that you use to navigate around the dungeon. This is the only crystal area, and I have wondered that actually Irenicus came to this specific location to acquire these magically imbued crystals so that he could create some of the things that we see here. A lot of times, you know, when you just kind of see like, okay, there's all these lab experiments, there's all these things that are going around here, blah, 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 this and that. It's ambience, right? It's like, okay, well, it's obviously he's a mage and he's doing weird lab things. I think if you know a little bit more about Irenicus, that he's very thoughtful. He has a plan. And I think maybe that he found this, and the genie here worked with him. I don't think it was a particularly good plan, but he used the power of these crystals to help him accomplish what he was trying to do, which is why we're at specifically where we're at. Okay. The pool churns and swirls. Strange lights dance within. As you stare in the pool, you catch a glimpse of cityscape. For a brief moment, with absolute clarity, you watch as the city changes. Ages pass and the inhabitants drop their primitive tools and ways. Discoveries are made and the minds of the people change and grow, every day grasping a new fact or invention. The image slips away until you see only a pool. You'll see there's one over here too. As you peer into the pool, a void opens and icy tendrils pull at your awareness, demanding that you submit. In horror, you look away and the tendrils recede. The pool is calm. So yeah, I mean, I think there's something really unnatural. Well, I don't know how to put it. It's obviously magical about this crystal area, and I think Irenicus found it and decided, yeah, maybe I can make this work on my behalf. Mirror of Galadriel much? Right, exactly. We should be fine.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Yeah!
At least these guys aren't running around everywhere.
Swords, not word. Where Minsk goes, evil stands.
And I still haven't put any armor on him. Yeah, we will. We will. Let's see. Arrows. All right. So we're going to give Minsk a few arrows. Let's do 40. Just for right now. We're going to give these to Imoen. Give the bow to Imoen. Give the other one to my main. We're going to give this to Imoen. So she can actually do something. What? Oh. That's how bad my vision is. I kept trying to put a javelin in the arrow slot. So I've been playing Tainted Grail. I did a few of them off stream. I really enjoy that game. I think that game is phenomenal. And the longer I played it, the more I got sucked in. But it doesn't have a very big following, and that's okay. I mean, but I do think there is something there, and the devs have given a bunch of free content with it. So I don't know, in my opinion, go check it out. I think that's a really interesting game. I think it has a potential to have a lot of life to it, and it's one of those, like, we complain about, like, hey, there's no games that are coming out that are any good anymore. Well, I mean, anytime a dev does something that is somewhat refreshing and new or better than what we had before, we kind of crap on them, so we can't have it both ways. We tried to, but I have enjoyed playing that game, though. It has been a lot of fun. And let's give Minsk his armor, because I keep forgetting. Here we go. Yeah, Irenicus dungeon is the worst. The rest of the game, S tier. But I do think they were trying to tell a story, and in so doing, they kind of got lost in their own storytelling, and it's just, it's not the best. We'll be able to get a +1 sword here pretty soon.
Yeah. What is it?
They hurt Jaheira. There's our first scimitar. I've always called it scimitar, and I know that's not how you're supposed to say it, but it's just how I've always said it. Come in here. I don't think this is...
Give me some direction.
I don't think this is trapped.
If it must be done.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to give this to Jaira with her scimitars. Trying to say it the right way. Let's give this to her. I'm going to keep one for myself. Give these to Minsk. There we go. And another Darkest Dungeon restart. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Oh, yeah, I don't need a shield for her. I have two. Well, I'll have her carry it. You know, whatever, that's fine. Let's give this to MON. And yes, we know what it is, and yes, you can use it despite not being able to, not being identified. But we're gonna do it the lore playthrough method. So on its own, see, even like the regular longsword has a long description to it, but we're gonna identify it, and it'll actually tell us what it is. This is Varskona +2. Blades of this type were long used by Sharon priests during the sacrificial rites of the Feast of the Moon ceremonies. Legends say that when she passed on, the remains of this sword's wielder were mummified and the blade was placed within her chest as a symbol of power. In the first stage of a long-forgotten ritual, she was to have been exhumed in a season, born again in some new form. Unfortunately, the cult wars killed the few that knew of her existence. Her tomb became a prison where she was forgotten, and there she developed a rage that bordered on insanity. Her grave was eventually found, but it was deserted and gave no indication of her whereabouts. Some venture to say that her anger was so concentrated that she became one with the very blade of her weapon. Regardless, after hundreds of years surrounded by constant hate, the sword harvested a power of its own. It is now exceedingly deadly in combat. It's a +2 with cold damage. We're going to take that for ourselves. Yeah. Because this katana is, 1d10. But the speed is 4. Let's see, what's the speed on this one? Speed is 3. So yeah, we're going to go with this one. And I think I can use a helmet. Yeah. Got to give this to Emowyn, our spells here. And I think this is a longbow. Yeah, so we'll give this to Minsk as his other weapon here. Oh, and I think we have the +1 here. So this one should not break when he's using it. So we'll give him that. There we go. Now we're all set. Let's talk to this.
I'm waiting.
This loser golem.
It's probably best left to me.
Master, is it you? You have given me no eyes. I cannot see you. What are you and what is your purpose? I'm a servant born of the Master's magic. He has designed me to clean the sewers and feed the Guardian. Well, what is the Guardian? He feeds on the filth and remains of the prisoners. If it is not time to perform my duties, then I must return to my rest. All right. So, yeah. So I'm going to come back to this room that's in here. I'm not going to open this one just yet. Because I want to come back and, have that lore discussion. I bet you we could take on these guys, no problem. But I'm going to come back to it. I don't want to deal with it just yet.
Next time.
I am ready.
Minsk, feel the backhand of justice.
With vengeance.
Yep.
Let's go. Okay.
This interaction. This is worth it.
All right. Where is it? There it is. Nice. I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm waiting. I'll see.
This is one of the better interactions. Not really just for the whole game, but I really, once you know a little bit more about this story and who Rylev is and everything that's going on, in a way I kind of should have gone to this room first, because Imowen does say one quick thing that's important. She says, I think these are people. Don't ask me how I know that, and that's an important detail because she's actually right.
Yeah.
Let's
Give me some direction. It's done.
What do you want?
Who be ye? Servants of the master?
Who is this master you speak of? He was my friend, I think, cast out and one of us no longer. I cannot remember. Are you to take my place? So he says a lot there, even though he's not saying anything. Like, to us, it's just kind of like, you know, somebody who doesn't maybe know where he is. He's confused. But when he says, he was my friend, I think, cast out, and one of us no longer, that is tied to the bigger story here. And so you got to keep that in mind, even though it's a long playthrough. Try to keep this in mind. Who are you? It is difficult to remember. I was Rylev, dead, I think. Well, tell me, friend. No. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand what is going on here. Are you living or dead? Neither. I'm between. The master had forgotten me, not killed me. What do you mean by forgotten? Why are you in this jar? I was a faithful hound to the master, a friend even. I was dying or dead. I cannot remember which. Truly, you are a stranger to this place. Pickle Rick. Eternal life. I was to be rewarded for my faithful service. The master has suspended me until he can cure me, return my youth to me. How long have you been in this state? I know not. Days, years, it's all the same, and my mind cannot grasp it. All alone. Has he forgotten you then? Or he has forgotten you then, hasn't he? But if you were his faithful servant, why? I begin to understand. The master has left my side for steady or another. He seeks to awaken power, a steady of life and death, but I cannot bear the roll of years. He has forgotten because he does not wish to remember what was taken. I barely remember myself. Again, this is so deep in the lore that I really wish we had a full playthrough so that I could come back and comment on all this, but there is a lot here. Not only the fact that he's here, not only some of the details of that he was a friend, or that he's doing experiments, or that he was going to bring him back, but it also gives the personality of Irenicus. And this is like masterful story writing right here, because you're telling the audience, whether they know it or not, a little bit about Irenicus. Because on the surface we can look at this and say, oh, this guy's heartless, he's mean, he doesn't care about this. It was his friend that he put in this jar, and that's the way you could look at it. That's actually not what's going on. But again, I can't really go into that too detail without major spoilers on the way. So do you want me to give you a release from this non-death?
Release? Yes. Master, I no longer wish to come back.
Well, and he says, let me slip into the oblivion that has been denied me. Please. Calmly, my friend. How is it that I can help? This unit that contains me is powered by cells, by crystals. Take them, and I can sleep, die, and again, die at last. I know you are prisoners. Some things do not change. You must escape this place and the Master's experiments. There are others like me, but of more recent experiments. They may know how the Master exits the complex. Will you take these cells to revive them and learn what you can in return for this path to freedom I have offered ye? Okay. I will take the cells and revive the other servants. Have peace at last.
I thank thee. Go and leave me to oblivion at last.
Sweet sleep.
He's dead now? This pathetic creature.
I can't look away, Aiden. I've seen death in our scuffles before, but here I did nothing but watch his life end. I can't look away. Death is not always to be feared, I guess. I would not wish to live like that. Death is pretty? Why would I think that? Oh, Aiden, I gotta get out of this place. Okay. So Rylev has been released from his overlong life. I took the crystal that apparently powered the device and he floated in, but not before he said that it might be used to activate other servants in similar devices.
Name it.
I'm waiting. I'm there.
This is the activation stone. So, for the golem. Let's see here. If we read this, yeah, it says the stone may be used to control the sewage golem. All right.
Yeah, if it must be done.
So we're going to go this way. And then we're going to go into this room to, have that conversation. I want to kind of clear the room first. I don't think there's any floor traps, but you never know with this game. I can't remember everything. They bait you into coming after them, and then they have like these floor traps that make things difficult.
I know this room. I've been in here. We both have. There are things in these tanks. They used to be people.
What kind of monster is this guy? Captures us easy as pie, kills whoever he wants. That could have been us in those glass things. I'm sure we'll find him soon enough. I want to know what he wants with me. I want to know what he did to me, too. My head still hurts really bad. He said something about potential. About you, too. Aiden, I don't care if he could make us 3 ogres strong. Let me read that back. Aiden, I don't care if he could make us 3 ogres strong. I have to get out of this place. It bothers me. Makes me think I see things. For whatever reason, the map does this to me from time to time. And it just throws me way off the map. I'm not even my cursor's nowhere near the edge, but whatever. That's what save scumming's for. Alright.
I'm waiting. It's probably best left to me.
Wah, Master. Master, is that you? I can barely see. It has been so long and I have been so alone. All alone. I'm not your master. Can you hear me? Do you hear me speaking? I did not mean to go into the mistress's room. I knew it was dangerous, so very dangerous in there. I was not trying to steal anything, truly. I was not trying to steal anything in the mistresses. I would never do that. I am faithful to you always. Why am I here, master? What has happened to me? You do not hear me, do you? How very sad what has been done to you. Was I hurt in the mistress's room, master? I can remember nothing. Is the mistress's room truly so deadly? I am so sorry. So sorry. I will never do it again, master. Please save me, please. I am so sorry, master. I will never do it again. I serve only you. So, that gives you the clue that there's a mistress's room and it could be deadly. Within the murky depths of this machine, you can see the lifeless remains of a strange creature consisting of a central orb and numerous eye stalks. It has been dead for some time. That is very much describing a beholder. This tube is unpowered and the creature within is dead. I think that's how most of these are. Yeah. Oh no, here's one. Master, you must hurry. The prisoner will break soon, and you will have the answers that you seek. No, master, I have not had the golem open the cell. He has no key. I beg your forgiveness, master, but did you not leave the cell key at the table in the jailer's room? Thank you, master. I shall return to the prison. Yeah. This tube is unpowered and the creature within is dead. The fluid within this device churns and bubbles though the tank itself is empty. Tortured one. Ah, so long have I lain behind this prison of glass. Do I weep and rage? Oh no, behind this prison glass do I weep and rage. Who are you, may I ask? Can you tell me anything of this place? I have called out so many, many times to thee, Master. Master, why hast thou forsaken me? Why hast thou left me in this bottle to wither? Why? Who is this master of yours? Why did he do this to you? Master, thou didst place me here out of kindness, but thou hast forgotten me. Have I simply slipped from thy thoughts? Master, please hear me. This master has left you imprisoned in a bottle? What manner of person would do such a thing? Thou couldst not cure what was done, but surely thy magics have increased, master. Thou didst care for me once. Let me help in thy search. Do not forget me in here forever, please. Poor creature. I can do nothing for you. Why hast thou forgotten? There is no boon, master. Please do not leave me. Ah, the glass and thoughts for eternity, pain and loneliness for a destiny. Min says, I would hate being forgotten in a bottle. It might depend somewhat on the type of bottle, but overall I expect the effect would be similar. It is not right. Tortured one says, Why, master? I long only to hear thy words once more. Why? Why? All right.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, this one's underpowered. Like I said, I don't remember if there's traps here or not, but I'm going to hope that there isn't. Okay.
Let's do this. Quick and pain.
Ice method. Okay. Just wondering how he was hurting me.
Give me some direction.
Tube is empowered and the creature within is dead. Same thing. Okay, here's one I can talk to.
Not a concern.
Ah, the light. Ages of weariness, ages of burning. My master, I beg of you. I am no master of yours. How is it that you have been imprisoned so? It is burning me. My skin is afire with the crawling of ants. Oh, please, master, save me. I am not like your genie who can be quelled within a bottle for what is burning you, friend? And who is this genie you speak of? Please, master, the ants. Does the genie not have nothing of yours that may aid me? Ah, I will take the statue and speak to him myself, if you will but let me. Wait a minute. Where can I find the statue? And who is this genie? Please give me the statue, master. Ah, the pain crawls along my skin. Aid me, master. The genie must have magic, must have something. Oh, please, the pain. Ah. Your long anguish has driven you mad, I see. I wish there was something I could do. Ah, the burning. Jihira says, I haven't been in this room for years. I know, Bogu, there's no reason for you to be in this room. It serves no purpose tactically, besides like 2 XP. It is monstrous that one would do such a thing to a servant, to lock him away in an eternity of pain. It offends nature. But that is why we do what we do. What did I say yesterday? Everything you wanted to learn about Baldur's Gate, but was too embarrassed to ask. Kind of like the sex book from the 70s. Let's give that to Chihira. I'm gonna give her the bullets, of course. Put that up though, like that. Yeah, she needs to have a ranged option. So there we go. But I think rooms like this are extremely important because they do flesh out what is going on with the personality of the character. I don't want to call him the main character, but he kind of is a main character. It's hard to describe. This little drawing here has always been like, it's got like these claws. Like, what is this? Is this like a chair with, I don't know, can't tell. Is this how you put somebody in a jar? It's a neat little detail that's drawn on here. So, but yeah, each one of these kind of tells you about a little bit about the captor and what his intentions were. I mean, he clearly wants to do experiments, but for what reason, you know? It's a toilet. Can you imagine like a toilet with hands like that? That'd be wild. All right, we're going to save real quick. Aiden 1. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this type of content. It's definitely something that it's not a natural necessarily playthrough. It's one that, you know, you have to be very slow and purposeful about. I might even miss some things unintentionally because we're going so slow. And if I do, of course, you know, always point things out. If it, like I said, if something you like, check out the channel, check out the YouTube channel. I go into a little bit more depth about specific characters and events there. And I'm doing all this so that I can kind of remember things so that I can add them as details for, you know, future videos. For my character, I need to be using this. I think I have to. Hold on. Oh, it's got my AI on here. That's what it is. That's why it's getting rid of that script. Get rid of that. Stop it. What is? Why? Hold on. I got to figure this out. I'm gonna get rid of my bow entirely because I don't want to do that. There. Okay.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Let's see here.
Give me some direction. I'm there.
The golem stares straight ahead. It does not appear to see or hear you. You suspect that the golem is inactive. I think I can still kill him though, right?
Jack, hold still.
This may have been a mistake. No, we're good.
I'm waiting.
Every hamster has his day. Let's do this quick.
Okay. A lot of XP though.
Some direction.
That's the point.
Must be done.
A lot of XP. 2K each. Alright. Let's come back to our friend over here. And it wouldn't let me save while he was running around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save real quick before, just in case. I don't want any, like, you know, file corruptions or whatever while he's doing this. Master, is it you? You have given me no eyes. I cannot see you. Yeah, well, you said that before. Have you been performing any services for me? I've cleaned the sewage chambers and fed your guardian. Do you wish me to open doors to the pit and begin my duties again? Is that all you can do? Is that it is all that you have ensorcelled me to do? Yeah, very well. Open the doors and begin your work. You have not activated my movement functions. You must use the activation stone. And of course, if this was Geralt, we would have to be like a witch and we'd have to like flash him or something to get him to move. Yeah, here's a stone. I bow to your will, master. All right, 3,000 XP.
I'm waiting.
Let's see here. With the activation stone in my possession, the sewage golem has agreed to go about its duties, among which is opening up the magically sealed doors in this level of the dungeon. So he's going to go around, you know, opening all the various doors that we have to go through. This one's about Minsk. Minsk has freed himself with the anger heightened strength bursting from his cage. Obviously, our captor underestimated the wrath of a man and his hamster. I have freed Jahira from her cell with the key I found. Very succinct. And we've already, I think, read this one. Yeah. So we just got to wait for him to come back. So I'm going to take a real quick break so I can refill my drink here. I've been talking a lot. That's the only real problem with doing some of these that are older games that aren't fully narrated. You have to kind of like say the whole thing. Plus kind of, you know, talk about the game in between.
It's probably best left to me.
All my work is completed, master. The guardian feeds. There's naught else for me to do. Go ahead. What is the guardian? I think you said this before. Your magic compels me. Yeah, your magic compels me. All right.
Give me some direction. Hey, not a concern.
Go out here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So again, like I said, I'm going to just take a real quick break. Let's see if it lets me save. It does. Good. Okay. Yeah, I just had to wait for him to come back. So I'm going to put it on just a kind of like just a little BG screen here. And let me put it on some music. What do we want to listen to? There we go. And I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I was just making sure everything was on before I actually did anything. But yeah, let's see here. What's going on with the... Let's see here. Okay, good. All right. Let's kind of get back into it.
I'm waiting.
But yeah, it's a very, very slow playthrough. And especially Rennicus Dungeon. I don't know. I don't know when we'll get done with the Rennicus Dungeon, if I'm being honest. Hopefully, won't take too long. But, you know, if you've done it, it can take a while. Even when you're trying to rush through it.
Let's do this. Let's do this quick and pain. Jack, hold still. Let's do this quick and pain. Give me some direction. Is it?
Ready and willing. All right.
Let's see here.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'll see to it.
Do a little save right here. All right. I don't think there's floor traps here, but we'll see. Oh yeah, there's a lot of guys in here. I knew it. A little mess. There's no floor trap, but there was a method.
It is done.
Feel the backhand of justice!
Something else?
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Yeah!
Check it good.
Oh,
Yeah. Give me some direction.
Feel the backhand of justice!
yeah. I'm getting wrecked by these little goblins. But we're fine. We're fine. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any books.
This reminds me
Yeah,
so
there we
much
go.
of Candlekeep. Dusty old tomes all over, bookcases nearly spilling. It's like we never left.
Oops. Come on, there we go. Yeah, so Emma, of course, grew up with us in Candlekeep, and the thing about Candlekeep is that it's a basically it's a large fortress, but it's a library, and the only way you can get in is if you bring a tome. And I don't remember if it's a tome that they do not have or just any tome, but they add it to your collection, and so that's the fee to have to come in to Candlekeep and to use their library. But we didn't we, Aiden? I just want to go home again. It doesn't matter where it is, just so long as I can call it home.
I'm waiting. I'm there.
Wait a minute, let me uncover everything here. Okay. Oh, look, there's a bunch of books. The history of Lurin, Symbia, Shadowdale, and Shadowdale 2. I did create one video on the podcast channel
It must be done.
where I read the history of certain books and just a little, quirky book here and there. I don't know. Maybe we'll sit here and read a couple of them. I don't really know. I just don't want to read a partial volume, you know? Shadowdale 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think that's as far as it goes. There could be a 9th. Let me see. 9. And then 10. 11, 12, 13. At least they put them all in one place. All right. History of Tether. The Bells in the Depths. Oh. The Chosen of Mistra. Grabbing that one. The Dells in the Elven Court. Ooh. Might need that. Not for story purposes, but for just this lore playthrough because of Irenicus and whatnot. History of the Dead 3. Here it is. The Dragon Coast? Maybe. History of the Drow. I read all of those once. Oh, I've read them a few times. It's just for the purposes of the stream, I'm just wondering if I'm going to like put people to sleep. Waterdeep? Let's see how. Really wish I had the bag of holding so I could just, you know, put them in here for later. But I do have the cheats enabled, and I can like bring up a book whenever I want to. Gandhi and the Lost King. Maybe. History of Halrua. This is one for sure I have read for the podcast. Like I said, it was a video I made, and it was a bunch of different books that I just kind of like thought was interesting to create kind of like a foundation of lore. And the Halrua was one of them. That one's actually really interesting. I may come back for that one. We'll see. What we got here? Last March of the Giants. Moonsea. North. 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 Waterdeep. Okay. Yeah, it's 2:32 a.m. Put me to sleep, Uncle Lee. Okay. I will read a couple of them, but not. Here's North 4. But I really want to be selective at the moment. History of maybe. Kalimshan. Cormier. Dambrath. Okay.
Time to move? No problem at all.
Come on over here, guys. I'm out of space. Dispel magic. No, you're gonna hold on. Well, yeah, do that one at least because we get XP for it, so might as well. Oh yeah, let's put these in here. Let's put give that to her. Give that to her. All speed. We'll give that to us. Yeah, so there's a lot of space I can make here. Hold on 1 minute. Let me do that. Knife, give that to Jaheira. Give this to Jaheira too. Now we can hold a lot more books. And we'll give this to... Yeah, I need to hold on to that. Give this to Minsk. Okay. So we have 3 books here. Let me grab some more.
Give me some direction. It's probably best left to me.
Kalimshan. It's not a very good book, but I think since the game is called The Shadows of it wouldn't hurt anything to look at it. History of the Vast. Western Heartland. Western Heartland, Olgarth, and the which one was it over here? No. No. I've forgotten which one it is. Halrua. Halrua and then these over here are somewhat related history-wise. Because one set of cultural events affected the other one. And then we have Red Ravens, Sisters of Light and Darkness. That's a good one. Unicorn Run and Valley of the Gods. I don't remember this one, but I feel like I should know that one. History of the North. Yeah, the History of the North one isn't. I mean, it's good, but it's not. All right, let's give these to Jaheira. So let's read the History of the Dead 3 first. This one's really important, and again, oh, come on. These are too sticky. Okay, so the History of the Dead 3 is really the events that caused us to even be in this place. So it's really important, and it, like I said, if you get to Baldur's Gate 3, there's a certain area early in the game, Banana likes going there, making a beeline for it, so that we can get withers, and you can kind of recreate your characters, the companions and stuff, however you need them to be. So it's actually very useful. But this describes really the main three that you run into in Baldur's Gate 3. Like, who are they? What are they even doing here? You know, what's going on? You learn of them and you kind of learn their significance, but this lays down the foundation early on. I never liked the idea of free class changes. Oh, I know, Bogu. It's just that's the new rules set, you know, and that's just how it is. And I will say this, though. I agree with that. I think there should be some limitations versus no limitations. Like, I do think paladins should have a consequence for being a paladin. Like, you can't be like, what's his name, the ogre one, and be a paladin. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. Yes, you should just be useless in that situation, because your god is supposed to be, you're getting your powers from your god, and you can't be someone like what's his name in this game and be a paladin. It just makes no sense. I feel like your profession is a huge part of your personality. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Hey Mongoose, how are you doing? Welcome on in. But conversely, you have people like Minsk who really could be useful. And if you had the ability to change him just a little bit, because he's just a ranger, he has some, you know, kind of like cleric powers, but not much, right? You know, you probably could say that you could learn that just from being in nature and stuff. And so you have a certain being attuned to that, you know, ability. But if you could kind of like fine tune that a little bit and turn him into like more or less what he should be, because he's so proficient at being a ranger, well, then you should be able to have some flexibility there. So it's kind of both sides of that coin. I think it's the effect of the decision of the few companions with a lot of backstory. Well, there's that, and it, like I said, it's not just Baldur's Gate 3. It's like the entire 5e rule set. It's just how it is. Minsk, can I abandon him and slowly use Boo? Believe it or not, Boo is actually on his own fairly proficient. You'll see that over and over and over. Well, people have keepered him into a barbarian or berserker. Yeah, I think that's okay, but I do think with his strength, you could turn him into an actual ranger that actually does damage with all that strength. Because as you know, there are some bows that are strength-based, and you could utilize him like that. And it would be kind of neat to have him like in the rear guard protecting a mage or a cleric, in a party system, in a real party system where, like, let's say you're in a dungeon or something, where he's able to kind of like protect the rear guard. But they're completely insignificant in BG2, though. Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. So it gives you some flexibility is the only thing I'm kind of like, you know, arguing for, but it just isn't what it is. So I get it. It's like there's no perfect system that fits both of those things very well. It would be nice to kind of like merge these. But again, you know, so you have the ability to get withers in Baldur's Gate 3, who allows you to kind of change your class system to more appropriate your characters in a feasible way, and very much similar to how Minsk is built, in that he's not useful for you in Baldur's Gate 2. Will is not really useful for you in Baldur's Gate 3. So a lot of people don't like Will, not because of that. That's not it. But he's a warlock spec'd into martial skills. And it's like, I mean, you could, but why? You know? Why? But anyway. History of the Dead 3, Knucklebones, Skull Bowling, and the Empty Throne. In ages past, there was but one god of strife, death, and the dead, and he was known as Jurgle, lord of the end of everything. Jurgle fomented and fed on the discord among mortals and powers alike. When beings slew each other in their quest for power or in their hatred, he welcomed them into his shadowy kingdom of eternal gloom. As all things died, everything came to him eventually, and over time he built his power into a kingdom unchallenged by any other god. Eventually, however, he grew tired of his duties, for he knew them too well. Without challenge there is nothing, and in nothingness there is only gloom. In such a state, the difference between absolute power and absolute powerlessness is undetectable. During this dark era, there arose three powerful mortals, Bane, Baal, and Merkel, who lusted after the power Jurgle wielded. The trio forged an unholy pact, agreeing that they would dare to seek such ultimate power or die in the attempt. Over the length and breadth of the realms they strode, seeking powerful magic and spells and defying death at every turn. No matter what monster they confronted or what spells they braved, the three mortals emerged unscathed at every turn. Eventually, the trio destroyed one of the 7 lost gods, and they each seized a portion of his divine essence for themselves. The trio then journeyed to the Grey Waste and sought out the Castle of Bone. Through armies of skeletons, legions of zombies, hordes of non-corporeal undead, and a gauntlet of liches they battled. Eventually, they reached the object of their lifelong quest, the Bone Throne. "I claim this throne of evil," shouted Bane the tyrant. "I'll destroy you before you can raise a finger," threatened Baal the assassin. "And I shall imprison your essence for eternity," promised Merkel the necromancer. Jurgle arose from his throne with a weary expression and said, "The throne is yours. I have grown weary of this empty power. Take it if you wish. I promise to serve and guide you as your seneschal until you grow comfortable with the position." Before the stunned trio could react, the Lord of the Dead continued, "Who among you shall rule?" The trio immediately fell to fighting amongst themselves, while Jurgle looked on with indifference. When eventually it appeared that either they would all die of exhaustion or battle on for an eternity, the Lord of the End of Everything intervened. "After all you have sacrificed, would you come away with nothing? Why don't you divide the portfolios of the office and engage in a game of skill for them?" asked Jurgle. Bane, Baal, and Merkel considered the god's offer and agreed. Jurgle took the heads of his 3 most powerful liches and gave them to the trio that they would compete by bowling the skulls. Each mortal rolled a skull across the Grey Waste, having agreed that the winner would be he who bowled the farthest. Malar the Beast Lord arrived to visit Jurgle at this moment. After quickly ascertaining that the winner of the contest would get all of Jurgle's power, he chased off after the 3 skulls to make sure that the contest would be halted until he had a chance to participate for a part of the prize. Bane, Baal, and Merkel again fell into fighting, and it was obvious their sport was ruined, and again Jurgle intervened. "Why don't you allow Lady Luck to decide so you don't have to share with the beast?" The trio agreed, and Jurgle broke off his skeletal finger bones and gave them to the players. When Malar returned from chasing the skulls, he found that the trio had just finished the game of Knucklebones. Bane cried triumphantly, "As winner, I choose to rule for all eternity as the ultimate tyrant. I can induce hatred and strife at my whim, and all will bow down before me while in my kingdom." Merkel, who had won second place, declared, "But I choose the dead, and by doing so I truly win, because all you are lord over Bane will eventually be mine." What? So I truly win because all you are lord over Bane will eventually be mine. That is such a weird syntax, but that's okay. All things must die, even gods. Ball, who finished third, demurred, "I choose death, and it is by my hand that all that you rule, Lord Bane, will pass to Lord Merkel. Both of you must pay honor to me and obey my wishes, since I can destroy your kingdom, Bane, by murdering your subjects, and I can starve your kingdom, Merkel, by staying my hand." Malar growled in frustration, but he could do nothing, and yet again only the beasts were left for him. And Jurgle merely smiled, for he had been delivered. So that's the History of the Dead 3 book, which is a extremely important book in the full context of the Forgotten Realms. You have to really start questioning, and I'm not going to go real deep into this, but you really have to start questioning Jurgle. He basically, if you look at the pantheon of all the gods and stuff, he almost was pretty much right underneath Ao in power. There's not much, nowhere else for him to like really rise up to. But he's like, it's so boring for me. I don't really want to do this. I'll just give it up to whoever. That's not consistent with who we know Jurgle to be. Jurgle is a very powerful being, and he likes to exert his power. And for him to suddenly say, nah. But he's also, like I said, he's very up there. It's very much in the similar vein of the Greek gods, because Hades, or Pluto, whichever you want to call, he was actually the oldest of the brothers between, Neptune and Zeus. And even though in that system, he would normally have taken the highest power, it was the youngest who did, which is Zeus. And so there's a certain justice there based on being, who's the most capable, I guess. But Jurgle is very capable and very smart and very, he does love his power. Don't listen to what this book is trying to say. He's not bored. What really, I think, is happening is that because he was so close to Ao, and Ao was already planning on turning all the gods mortal, that eventually told Jurgle that he was not going to be unaffected by this decision. So why doesn't he just let whoever take it over? But yet, he is going to be their seneschal. He's going to guide them. He's going to say, well, this is the best way to handle this station or this employment here and whatever you're trying to do. And by dividing them by 3, he's able to control even more, because it's not one person or something that he has to deal with now. They're divided amongst themselves. His entire power is now in 3 pieces, and, divided they shall fall. So they never once had the ability to control everything. This works perfectly for Jurgle. So when you get into Baldur's Gate 3 and you go into the temple that has the shrine for Jurgle, and there's that book that's very important that talks about the writings of who all is left, Jurgle is still keeping up. He's making an account. And Withers is there, and he says, I am always been who I shall always be, and he just does what he's supposed to do. That's his station. In my opinion, Withers is the aspect of Jurgle. And I don't know if this is really intentional or not. I couldn't say this is a fact, but when he gave his own bones for the game of Knuckle Bones, he separated himself and allowed that power to go to those winners. So he and his essence are still in that station, even though he was completely unaffected by the by the time when the gods became mortal, he never had to deal with it. He's just waiting. And so that's my opinion. And that's why I think that the events of Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 even are so well connected that, but it's underneath the surface. You kind of have to like look a little bit deeper there. And it's really important to see that that story can continue going forward. History of the Dells in the Elven Court. I think this is important because if I remember right, I'll read it and then I'll see if it actually is relevant. But Irenicus, who we will find out more about him, but I think there's a reason why this book is here too. Oh, it's longer than I thought too. Some of this isn't that important. Well, we'll do it anyway. History of the Dells in the Elven Court. The founding of the Dell lands long preceded the creation of any of the existing Dells by hundreds of years, and the year numbering system known as Dell Reckoning is actually a commemoration of humankind being given permission to settle in the lands north and west of the Inner Sea. So Dell Reckoning is kind of how we refer to the time in the Forgotten Realms. So that's really important to see that. So when you see a certain time, date stamp or whatever, Dell Reckoning or DK or DR, that's where this is coming from. So most of the current Dells are relative newcomers, the older having been abandoned, destroyed, or overrun long ago. In those ancient days when the Suzail and the Chondathian, now called Saerlun, were mere coastal trading posts, the elves who ruled this forest entertained a request from settlers from the east. Refugees and farmers from far off Impiltur and Damara. This request was to farm and settle the borders of great forests, Cormanthor, in particular the rich delves and dales along the river Arkan and Ashaba. These newcomers did not wish to lumber or clear the inhabited forest, but only to settle in the rich territories on its edges, and unlike some other settlers, early Symbia comes to mind, were willing to ask permission. Yeah, Symbia came in, and that goes into the whole, like those other books I was trying to reference, that's exactly where some of that is connected. Because they were very barbaric, and they came in and just like tried to take a lot of things over, and they kind of just came and went. The lords of the Elven Court granted that request in return for aid from these new Delllanders against outside aggression, both monstrous orcs and goblins from the lands of Thar, and human, the rising powers in the Cormyr and Symbia. See, Symbia, like I said, kind of a barbaric group. In commemoration of this pact, humans and elves raised the standing stone that is now seen where the Moonsea Ride reaches Routhover's Road, the road from Ensimbra to Hillsfar. It is from the date of the raising of this stone that Dell Reckoning is counted. According to the pact made, the Dellsmen would only settle those regions that were unforested or unclaimed by the elves. As the elven woods receded under the axes of further invaders and settlers, old dells perished, and new ones came into being along the borders of the woods. People both good and bad have raised petty nations in the Delllands since. Though any one Dell has turned against the pact would have to deal with the others. Each of the Dells is a large swath of farms and fields with few scattered settlements and usually one central marketplace, capital, or Dell center. These centers are often, but not always, named after the Dells they are in, adding to the confusion as to what a Dellland's territory. The Dells are not city-states for their largest groupings of population rate as towns at best, and they lack the defensive walls common throughout the Heartlands. They are neither true nations in the fashion of Cormyr or Symbia, and occupy a gray middle ground where they are nothing more or less than Dells. Each Dell has slightly different laws, custom, and military organizations. Many rely on the work of charismatic heroes and adventuring companies for aids in time of troubles, and a large number of these individuals use the region as a base. This attraction for adventurers is further increased by the large number of elven and pre-elven ruins in the area and departure of the elven court for Evermeet, leaving the woods open for exploration and exploitation. The history of the Dells is filled with battles and attacks on its various members. In the year of the worm, 1356 DR, so now you know where the Dell Reckoning comes from, Scarsdale, under the command of Lashan Almaser, launched a number of swift attacks, conquering a numbering of the surrounding dales. A coalition of the forces from the others, as well as Sembia, Cormier, and Sentil Keep, crushed the invaders and occupied Scardale. During the time of troubles, 1358 DR to 0 PR. But you see what I'm saying? So during the time of troubles, it all comes back to that fulcrum of that time period. Shadowdell was attacked by Zentil Keep. More recently, the Delllands have committed forces to a unified army under King Azun IV of Cormier to turn back the Tuijan invasion in 1360 DR, so 2 years later. Whew. That was the Dell. It's not the book I thought it was, but this one is important. And so if you're coming into Baldur's Gate 3, from Baldur's Gate 3, you know Mystra, a little bit about Mystra and whatnot. And the Mystra that we have currently is not the Mystra from the original one. And as that one split off, that's how we have like kind of like the night and the day type stuff. So we have Shar, who's the dark mistress, and she has a counterpart. But Mystra, the original Mystra, goddess of magic and whatnot, it's really important to know which Mystra we're talking about. So the Mystra El and Mystra, like I said, Ed Greenwood came up with all this stuff. So, you know, it's a lot. But let's see here. This isn't too much. Let's see. Okay. The history of the Chosen of Mystra. The reason why Mystra, the goddess of magic, invested a portion of her divine might in mortals is not known. One of the more popular theories, and one that is gaining more support in light of the goddess's other actions during that period, is that Mystra foresaw the time of troubles, and her own passing at the hands of Helm, and chose to give some of her power to mortals in order to ensure that her successor, the female mage Midnight, as it turned out, would have a number of nearly immortal allies in the struggle against the schemes of the gods. The now dead Bane, Merkel, and Baal, who precipitated the time of troubles by stealing the Tablet of Fate. The theory goes on to suggest that Mystra informed Azuth at approximately the year of the Rising Flame 0 DR, more than 1300 years before the time of troubles, that some of her power would be put into the hands of mortals who would then become known as Mistress Chosen. This power would sleep within the bodies of those mortals, allowing Mystra to call on it only with their permission. It would give the Chosen the innate ability to heal quickly and would give them lifespans far greater than the ordinary mortals. Mystra speculated that these mortals might be able to call on her power and therefore gain some special abilities, but that these powers would not rival those of a deity. See powers below. So this is describing people like Elminster. It's exactly who we're talking about. And to a lesser extent, Gorion, I guess. But Gorion essentially almost gave himself up. It's a hard argument to make, but it's almost kind of like he did. He said, hey, look, child, run. And then he is defeated by the Bhaalspawn, Sarevok. But Elminster is meeting this description to a T. And Gale is actually on the same pathway, a chosen one of Mystra. And that's why I really, really do love Gale. I mean, a lot of people find he rubs people off, but he doesn't do any. He's always a good friend of yours, whether you choose good things, bad things. He's always a good friend of yours. So I really, really do like Gale. But this also goes back to what I was saying. So even Mistra, who is really, really powerful in her own right, saw the time of troubles coming. And so she may have made arrangements so that her essence and stuff could continue, even if something were to happen to her, so that mortals could fight back against the tyranny of the gods. You see? So even if she was thinking this, I'm pretty sure Jurgle was thinking about it. You see? The goddess of all magic then began to select mortals she thought to be suitable. One of the first was the young mage Elminster. I just said this. And she also singled out a promising wizard named Kelvin Aronson. Both have proved to be worthy and capable receptacles of her power, but Mistra's other early attempts to invest her power in living humans were unsuccessful, and she came to realize that only very few mortals were of stern enough substance to contain such power within themselves without being destroyed or corrupted. Even though some people aside from Elminster and Kelvin may have possessed the requisite strength, it is possible that having lived for years prior to being visited by Mistra had them set on a path from which they were not able to deviate. Whatever the reason, the problem needed to be solved. To get around the difficulty, Mistra devised a plan to use herself as a vessel to breed individuals who could be nurtured and acclimated to her power from the very beginnings of their lives. For the father of these individuals, she picked the best example of human stock she could find, Dornell Silverhand, a nobleman and a former harper who lived near Neverwinter. Mistra then possessed the body of Elu Shundar, a half-elven sorceress whom Dornell was already attracted to. Mistra revealed her presence as her plan to Elu, who happily and eagerly agreed to have the goddess share her body. Elu had been reluctant, but under the influence of Mistra, the woman became a seductress, and Dornell found his advances being suddenly returned with great favor. Dornell and Mistra Elu were wed in the year of drifting stars in 760 DR. The first of 7 daughters, Anastra Silune, was born the following winter. Silune's 6 sisters emerged at 1-year intervals thereafter: Indu Alustrir, Ambara Dove, Athena Astroma, she prefers the shortened Storm these days. There's so much detail here. Anamanu Lael, Alasra Shintrantra, oh my goodness, known today as Symbol, and Erse Quilu. These siblings have become known in the Realmsian lore as the 7 Sisters. That's what you need to take away from that. Dornell, who has been kept in the dark about his wife's true nature, though, through the years, presumably because Mistra didn't want to risk losing his services, was disappointed and nearly distraught by the time his 6th child was born. He had always wanted sons as well as daughters. More importantly, he was seeing his wife deteriorate right before his eyes. The strain of coexisting with the goddess all these years had turned Elu into a withered shell. In essence, a lich, clinging to life only because Mistra's power was within her. When Elu was carrying the 7th child, Dornell consulted a priest who told him his wife had been possessed by an entity of great magical power. To spare both of them any further agony, he attempted to slay his wife's physical form by severing her head from her body. As soon as he had done this, Mistra was forced to reveal herself to him, and she went on to explain her scheme. Just as she had worried would happen, Dornell was aghast at how he and his wife had been used by the goddess. He turned his back on the corpse of his wife, abandoned his lands to his children, and vanished to the north. Mystra bore him no ill will and in fact protected him in the final 30 years of his life. When Dornell finally did meet his end, he called out to Mystra, and the goddess granted him continued existence as her servant. Now known as the Watcher, Dornell Silverhand travels the world unseen by mortals on a continuing mission to locate candidates to swell the ranks of the Chosen and to identify possible threats to Mystra and her minions. So, is it possible that the Watcher is also Withers? Probably not. But it also shows you an example of how a goddess who is not as powerful as Jurgle, created a kind of like a representative or something. At any time, she could do that, and it kind of shows the actions of the gods and some of the things they're capable of doing and what they are known to have done. But yeah, I mean, I would say that's why reading these books is somewhat important for the lore. Not all of these. I think some of these definitely carry more weight than others for the immediate story, but on whole, when you read the whole thing, it really paints a picture of where we are in the bigger scheme of things. So this one here, this history of the Sisters of Light and Darkness, it's another long one, but I think it's worth reading, and then we won't read anymore today. Hopefully I haven't bored you guys to death. In fact, let me put on a little bit of music so that way it kind of helps a little bit. And if you guys just don't want to hear this stuff, let me know and I'll wrap it up. Let me see. Yeah, this is a good one. So the history of the Sisters of Light and Darkness. This was the birth of the world and the heavens. After Lord Ao created realm space, there was a period of timeless nothingness. A misty realm of shadows before light and dark were separate entities. Within the dim chaos stalked 13 lords of shadow, the Shadavari. Whether they came from elsewhere or are children of the shadow itself, none can say. Eventually, this primordial essence coalesced into twin beautiful goddesses who were yin and yang to each other. They were so close they thought to themselves as one being. The two-faced goddess created the heavenly bodies of the crystal sphere and together infused them with life to form the Earth Mother, Shantea. Although Shantea had since contracted her essence to encompass only Abir Toril, in the beginning she embodied all matter in realm space. This new universe was lit by the face of the silver-haired goddess, who called herself Saloon, and darkened by the welcoming tresses of the raven-haired goddess Shar, but no heat or fire existed within it. Shantea begged for warmth so that she could nurture life and living creatures upon the planets that were her body and limbs. And the two sisters, who were one, became divided, and for the first time they were of two minds. Silvery Saloon contested with her dark sister over whether or not to bring further life into the worlds. During this great conflagration, the gods of war, disease, murder, and death, among others, were created from residues of the deific battle. At one point during the battle, Saluna seized the advantage and reached across time and space to a land of eternal fire. Fighting the pain of the blaze which burned her sorely, she broke off a fragment of the ever-living flame and ignited one of the heavenly bodies so that it burned in the sky and warmed Shantea. Incensed, Shar redoubled her attack on the injured twin and began to snuff out all light and heat throughout the crystal sphere. Again, Saloon gave herself and tore the divine essence of magic from her body, flinging it desperately at her sister in defense of life in the sphere. This essence entered Shar, ripped an equal portion of energy from her, and reformed behind her as the goddess of magic, known now as Mistra, but then as Mistrael. Though Mistrael was composed of both light and dark magic, she favored her first mother Saluna initially, allowing the Silver Goddess to win an uneasy truce with her more powerful dark twin. Consumed by bitterness at her defeat, Shar vowed eternal revenge. The twin goddesses contested for eons as life struggled into essence on Toril and the other planets under Shantaea's watchful gaze. Shar remained powerful but bitterly alone, while Saluna waxed and waned in power, often drawing strength from her allied daughters and sons and like-minded immigrant deities. Over time, Shar grew strong again, aided by the Shadowvari who preferred night to blinding light, and who stalked the realms seeking to meld light and dark into shadowy chaos once again. Shar's plot to reform the world after her own desires was undone when Azeth, the High One, formerly the greatest of all mortal spellcasters, and now consort to Mistra, incarnate successor to Mistrael, found a way to imprison the Shadowvari in pocket-sized crystal sphere located beyond the edges of the world by creating the illusion of a realm of shadows. The Lords of Shadow were drawn to investigate, and before they discovered the trick, Azeth imprisoned the Shadowvari within the Shadow Star, a key of shadows forged by Gond. The High Lord then hurled the key into the endless reaches of the cosmos, allowing life to flourish on in Shantaea's loving hands. So, the history of Saluna and Shar, better defined than really what you find in Baldur's Gate 3. And that's just, my 2 cents on that. It's not really intended to kind of give you a, this is the way it is, and this is the way, you need to think about it. But it is something that really needs to be seen in perspective. Let me save this real quick. And I'm going to grab
Not a concern.
more books for the future. History of the Vast. Eastern Heartland. Ogarth, Red Ravens, Unicorn Run. North. I think this is more North books. Let me see real quick. North. Moonsea. Last March of the Giants. Hold up. Drow. Waterdeep. Dragon Coast. Let me look over here again. Look over. See. Duperm Var. Estagan. Gondiel Lost King. Halrua. I don't really know how to say that, but that's kind of how I say it. Sembia. Lurin. Shadowdale. Yeah, so we're good. The rest of this is fine. All right. So we'll read some more books in the future. We're going to run into more areas and libraries and, things. Let me make sure we uncover the map down here too. No, remember if there's more. Oh yeah, this is the pit. Let's go ahead and take care of this guy.
Let's do this quick and painful. Hold still.
Wand of the Frost Key. So let's see here. I think this just brings us back to the... Oh, the Mephit. Crap. How's Jahira the first one here? Minsk, you're slacking. Yeah, see, this is the original room where we kind of came from. Check out these chests real quick. Yeah. Give it a good second or so.
Some direction. I hope this is worth it.
All right. Let's give this to Minsk. I think he's already wearing. Yeah, he is. Let's see. Give this to Jahira. Give that to Imoen. So these books for now, I'm gonna give my unread ones to Jahira. There we go. And I can probably drop these other books. Yeah, because we don't really need them anymore. I hate dropping them here, but you know, I need the inventory space. The Eyes of Truth, Helm of Infravision. The Eyes of Truth being a scavenger of a sort, Babette Maelstrom had this helm created to aid her in dungeon excursions. She would later attribute her gathered wealth solely to its power, though likely it was as much her keen eyes as anything. Infravision, and I think we're human, so this might work. Do that. Let's see, information, dual class. Yeah, human male. So yeah, this will actually help us. Let's give this to Minsk for his thick skull.
I'm waiting. I'll say to me.
Okay.
Great fun! Right?
Gotcha good.
It's done.
All right. So now we've got these areas clear. Let's give this to Imoen. And that to Imoen, this to Imoen. And these here. Let's give this to Minsk. There we go. Okay.
Give me some direction.
And so we have this area to the north that we need to do, which is not too much. And then we have this area over here. So, yeah. So we just need to travel to the north here a little bit. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah.
I'm willing.
And then we may kind of call it here. We'll see. I'm at 3 hours. And we'll come back to this. I don't know when I'll be back streaming again. Hopefully soon. I'm really enjoying this. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the lore-based, story-based, I should say, playthrough. It's very slow. I mean, we're not trying to be like, we're not trying to make it to the end of Throne of Ball, like, ASAP. The advantage is that we, hopefully we'll get there. Because doing it this way is definitely, we're not doing it on a hard mode or anything like that. We're going to have plenty of HP by the time we get there. Let me put it on something here real quick. Hold on. Let's see what we got. There we go. Okay, let me take a look to see what's going on. So we have a friend of the channel, Baba Ganoush. And I always misspell his name. Let me make sure I write it on here. Yesterday I sent y'all to Sarah's Save. I think she's an excellent streamer. She's new to the streaming world, and if you look at our Twitch, who we rated yesterday, again it's just Sarah, S-E-R-A, I believe, Save, S-A-V-E, and she's amazing. She's up and coming. I mean, she is just delightful. She's articulate. She's funny. She does late night streams. So if you're one that has to have a late night stream that you want to watch, she's great for that. She does a lot of playthroughs, kind of like just first time playthroughs at the moment. She's doing Skyrim and Fallout. She just finished Oblivion and Morrowind. And I'm telling you, she's it's amazing how fast she's growing. She's definitely outpacing anything I'm doing on YouTube. And that's just her streams. So she's doing really well. She's only been streaming for I think 2 months. But anyway, she's very engaging chat. She's, like I said, she's great. So definitely check her out if you get a chance. Thanks for, oh, no problem, Bogu. Let me raid Baba Ganoush. And he does a lot of horror streams. Today he's doing Dreadfields. So yeah, check him out. And gotta go eat myself. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope to be on soon. Let me get rid of that. There we go. I'm just gonna put the Baldur's Gate 1 on. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the raid earlier, Daryl 6. Thank you for all the follows from Atticus Ori, Parius Mihoff, Bubba 2030. Thank you for the follow. We got to 420, y'all. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.